You want your scarf?
Go ahead.
You have 10 seconds till the theme song starts. You get to go whenever you want. The volume is already set.
It's not coming up. Well, hello and happy Saturday. I'm so happy to be here with everybody. Todd and I have a fun show planned for you tonight that everybody's worked really hard on, especially Seth, who put together all the clips for us. It's going to be great. And hi, I haven't seen you all day.
How is that over there in Costco land?
Costco on a Saturday is kind of, I would say, the big game hunting, except every hunter in all of Las Vegas is in the same store with you. I was battling my way through, and I got here just in time for the show. But I had time to put my war paint on. I would hate to have to come on here.
Without?
And yeah, I do that on my own channel, and I mean on my Facebook, and you know, I don't mind it, but this is kind of a fancy show, so I like
Very
to
fancy.
be a little fancy.
Everything about it is very fancy. Indeed.
So guess what? Today's Saturday and tomorrow's Sunday and tomorrow's Sunday night. So what's that mean? I know Ryan knows what it means. It is the final episode of The White Lotus. And I cannot wait to see what's happening there because it's so crazy. This season, really, the first four episodes really let me down, and then episode 5 took off like a rocket. 6 and 7 were good, and tonight is the final.
It was slow, and I have to admit the lady that was in the first 2 was fantastic.
Oh, Jennifer Coolidge.
She is hilarious.
Well, you know, she's so incredible that I was completely heartbroken when they killed the character off. Completely heartbroken. I'm going to pull our show up real quick here.
So rumor has it on the monitor you have friends too.
I do. We're going to talk about that in a second. Let me just turn this down. Okay, so I got to skip this. Sorry, guys. I just walked onto the set. So here we go. I'm all set. Hi, everybody. People are coming in, and I'm so happy. Hello. It's so good to see you. And yes, I do have a friend here and he's not just a friend, he's a really good friend. He and his wife are some of my favorite people in the world. And
so we have levels of friends.
Of course.
Levels.
There's the outer, and then there's the middle layer, and then there's the Milky Way, and then there's the right in your face, the ones that have been around for like 20 and 30 and 40 years, of course.
So
but
Joe's an in-your-face kind of guy.
Joe is definitely in my face, and he's such a great mentalist. He went on the cruise with us last year, and he did the show with me.
Oh, I love being with him on the show.
Isn't Joe special? And Deb, his wife, I love her.
A
pair. So
they're a couple of swells.
They
stay in the best hotels.
Well, they actually probably do. But what I wanted to talk about was, before we get started with the show, is that I am doing a benefit performance for the Four Diamonds in Annville, Pennsylvania on April 26th. And we are so excited about it. But we do have 800 seats in this theater. So if you want to know where Annville is, it's about 15 or 20 minutes outside of Hershey. Most people know where Hershey, Pennsylvania is.
It's just south of Intercourse and west of Hershey. Pennsylvania's got some whacked out names.
Did Carrie, who had those crazy signs all over her house, and I used to love that, did she ever have Intercourse, Pennsylvania?
Intercourse, Pennsylvania began on a bus tour
with
my mother. And Carrie and I were teenagers. And we were rolling down the highway, and there was the sign, 12 miles to Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Carrie went absolutely crazy. And she was like insisting that we all stop there. My mother was, now dear, settle down. But, she was so excited about that. And, that was the seed that birthed a lifelong passion for finding
Weird.
cities
Yeah.
or states or countries with weird names.
I used the sign that Carrie had on her gate. That was one of my favorites. Was Crabs Crossing.
Infart.
Oh, Infart. That was another sign that looked like it was some kind of city in Europe because the sign looked kind of European.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a
She
concept-
had a knack for finding those.
Well, it becomes a quest.
Right.
To discover and find the absolute weirdest possible name. And it literally went on. It was like one of the last things. She was still doing it in her last year of life.
Oh.
So she maintained, I mean, we were maybe 11, so 50 years of searching for the weirdest city.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a fun pastime. I used to like to look for weird church signs or funny church signs and things like that. And then somebody actually wrote a book called Funny Church Signs, and they went all over the country and took pictures of signs.
You got to be clever, especially, since most of the churches were, putting people to sleep. You better do something clever to let them know that you're not part of the "we'll put you to sleep" crowd.
Right, right. Well, it worked. So anyway, back to Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
I'm very excited because the Four Diamonds is a great charity, children's charity, and so we're raising money for them. And I'm doing a mind reading and hypnosis show. This is, I think, our 10th or 11th year of doing this, and so it's really great. And because the space is so big, the theater, we have a lot of seats and a lot of tickets to sell. And the more we sell, of course, the more the charity gets, and so it's a great thing. So we decided, because people started doing something really cool. They were buying, the tickets are $10 for students and $15 for adults, so they're very affordable. But what we noticed was that people were donating tickets. And so, because they just wanted to give money to the charity, so they bought seats that they're not going to actually use. So we have this really cool, Brian came up with this really cool idea that if people, because people were saying, what can we do? How can we donate to this? So if you want to, you can do that if you go to KatherineHickland.com. And before we ask you to do that, I do want to talk to Joe because oddly enough, well, we'll talk about that once we're on the air, once we get him on the air in a minute. But if you buy a ticket and it's for donating, then we'll be able to give those tickets to people that really want to come to the show and can't because they can't afford it, or they have a lot of people in their family and not everybody can come. So those tickets that you buy will go to really good use. And so we see this as like a win-win situation. So if you want to get tickets and they're donating tickets, they're on my
Give a little
website.
love, as the
Give them a
song goes.
little love, exactly.
Just a little love.
So I'm going to introduce Joe in a second, but I want to just say this is how weird life can be sometimes. So he came to my show, I think it was 3 years ago. Was it?
3 years.
3 years, 3 years ago. So he is, we've been friends for a lot longer than that, but he lives in Hershey. So he came to the show and he said, this is so great. What a great organization the Four Diamonds is. This is great that, you're doing this show and it's so great. And then that year, his grandson got cancer. And because he lives in Pennsylvania, the Four Diamonds became a big thing in their life. And so, that to me was just one of the strangest things. Fortuitous, exactly. So I'm going to bring Joe on so we can tell you, I'm going to just ask him, because first of all, he's one of my besties.
Well, we'll go to a two-shot. That way you have you and Joe together.
Okay, perfect. Do we have that? Well, I see Joe. Hi, you boyish thing.
Hello, how are you?
I am so good. I am really good, Joe, and I'm so excited because I'm going to get to see you in just a few weeks in Pennsylvania.
Hey, Ryan, can we bring him full screen?
And we'll bring
Todd,
Joe
how are you doing?
full screen because Joe deserves full screen.
Well, do I have to do it on my end? Oh,
There he is. Look at those.
I
Look,
got things between
look at those baby
you.
blues.
Todd, how you doing?
I love your blue eyes. So, Joe, you are a mentalist as well. And when you come out and visit, we just sit up all night and do things like read each other's minds and show each other new things, and it's really fun.
And find out new things we have to go work on.
Well, you are such an inspiration to me in so many ways. I can't even tell you. And I'm so crazy in love with your wife, Deb, and it's just I'm so blessed, because I meet such great people, and then sometimes, you really just know that they're going to be in your life forever, and I love when that happens.
And let me tell you, Debbie says hello to you, Todd, and to all of the friends that she knows in your world.
Yes, and we're going to see each other on the Cat and Todd live cruise in June, but we're going to see each other in Pennsylvania
I'm
in a
looking
couple of
forward
weeks.
to, do they have the same Italian restaurant that we had on the other
I think
ship?
so, yeah.
That was what was, Joe, wasn't that one of your favorite deals on
Yes, that was excellent. Yeah,
yeah,
Todd.
for me, that was one of my favorite parts of the restaurant
Yeah.
choices for food.
Well, I like the steakhouse myself, and
But
there's a
that's
lot of good things on that ship. It's just really a lot of great things, places to eat and things to do. So, Joe, do you remember 3 years ago when you came to the?
I definitely do. I do.
Yep.
I came because it was you, and I fell in love with the charity, and then got blindsided about 9 months later.
Yeah, tell us about that, because that really was a stunning thing. I mean, I was really weird. I mean, you would never have any idea like something like that is going to happen. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. My grandson Gabriel, we took him to go see Santa Claus, and we all agreed he was walking like an old man, and we were getting stressed out over the way he looked. The doctor said that he had a virus, and my doctor got involved and made him go back. And within 3 days, he was admitted to Hershey Medical Center with leukemia.
Unbelievable. And how old?
He was, at the time, he was only 3.
Right. Now he's
And,
6?
He just turned 5.
Yeah.
So we celebrated his birthday on the 28th.
Well, we have some footage here of him going to see Santa that day. Look, he looks like he has a twin.
That's his brother Benedict.
Yep.
Benedict's brother, and yeah, we got him right into the hospital. There he is.
There's Gabe.
And that's his mom background. That's their family.
Oh, I love
Well,
them.
That's their family as of then. They now have James, who is only 4 weeks old.
Aww.
There's a new grandson
So
in the picture.
cute. So what happened with Gabe's journey? So then when he was in the hospital, had you been in touch with the Four Diamonds yet?
Well, I'll tell you, no, I was not. It's funny. I didn't even connect the two at first. And then the second day they were in the hospital, we went in, and Olivia told us that the Four Diamonds had come to visit and gave them a backpack with everything they would need in it as a go bag if Gabriel got sick and had to come to the hospital. And it was a laptop, changes of clothes for Gabriel, diapers, everything you could possibly think you needed, and said, and we're here for you, and we're going to take care of you. And literally that second day, Four Diamonds started giving my son-in-law and my daughter financial help and emotional support throughout the whole process.
Wow.
And it did not.
This is the kind of thing that I love to support in any way I can, because it's like Shriners and other, anyone that comes and helps a family like that during a time that is so stressful and a time where you're in such fear and grief and shock. It's just absolutely remarkable. But I just remember when you told me, I thought, how strange that is, not a year later of you even, being introduced to the Four Diamonds, that they actually ended up stepping in. How's Gabe doing today?
Isn't that how that song
Gabe
goes?
is-
It's a small world after
Yes.
all. I mean, it's every time you turn around, you realize how everything is connected by such a small fraction of a space. I mean, the idea that would connect back to Joe and the things you're doing, it's just bizarre. I mean, and in a great way. It truly would make you believe in other controlling
Other forces? I knew you were going to use the word force.
Yes, well, the force is with us.
Yeah.
And there was the force in action right there. I mean, you can't deny it.
Well, Joe, tell me about Gabe and how he's doing.
Gabe is doing marvelous. He just had his 5th birthday last week. And in fact, as I know right now, he is I have it on his schedule to come see you. In,
Is he coming?
we are planning on it.
Oh my
We're pla-
gosh.
Now, what about the cruise? Are we going to be able to make the cruise? Can he come on the cruise, or what's the story?
Well-
You know what? Deb and I love our grandkids, but I don't know that we want to take them on a cruise. I'm not sure that
Well,
good,
also-
respectable
The
grandparents.
words. The words
And how many
work.
kids do they have? Do they have 2 or 3 now, your daughter?
Olivia now has her 3rd.
Third, yes.
James was born 4 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. Congratulations to Olivia. And how about that, Gabe has brothers now. And did they have a little girl, too?
Nope, 3 boys.
Oh, man, she's not getting any sleep or rest.
Well,
Boys
and
are
I'll
way
share
easier
with
than
you,
girls. Are you kidding me?
Boys are easier than girls
Way
at
easier.
12 and 13.
No. I was the most well-mannered, cool, smiley baby. I mean, you asked my mother.
I did ask her mother.
I know.
But that's so true. So, Joe, I'm so happy that this is. What are they saying? That is he in remission, or what are they saying?
Done treatment. He now gets checked every 6 months, and should be fine. That's what we're counting on. I mean, they say that once they get it, they're pretty sure of it. He'll just go in, and he'll have to get checked randomly. But for the most part, everyone we've talked to says don't plan on it coming back.
Oh, that is so awesome. We're going to show you the website. Ryan's got that, and he's going to pull that up right now. So you can see someone just bought a ticket. It just came through on I can hear and hear. So you'll see here that if you want to come to the show, then you click into where Ryan is showing you with his mouse right now. It says click the image above for tickets. So if you would like to attend the show, and we would love to meet you. I am so excited because I get to meet so many of you every year at this. So if you would like to come to the show, you buy tickets in the first square. And then all the way at the other end, you see, there you go, where the mouse is. You click here. And this is to donate a hypnosis show ticket. So it's $10. It's a really great way to help out. And it's also a really good way to not only help the Four Diamonds, but to make sure that somebody that's local and wants to see the show and can't afford to see the show, that they will get to see the show. So we thank you for doing this, all of you who decide to do it. And if...
By the way,
and we're going to have a third wheel next
I just
week.
want
Ryan
you to
just
see,
told me.
though. I just want you to see how boys are when they're babies.
Okay, I see it. Look how cute
Now,
you are.
does that look like a difficult child
No.
to you?
No, you look like the happiest baby ever.
I'm
And
just trying
you
to.
have the films to prove it.
I have footage.
Yeah, I have footage.
I have footage. Okay, well, I just wanted
Okay,
to
so I wanted to-
settle that point once and for all. That
Yes.
boys are easier than girls.
Well, you might be right. I was easy. I do know that.
Well,
yes.
some girls are accepted. My mother had your kind of personality. So some girls, are as Henry would say, she's like one of us.
Me. I'm like one of you. Yes.
That was
I'm one of the guys.
That was a tight club you got indoctrinated into. But not all girls are capable of being in that club. In fact, that was the first time I ever heard Henry say that. So just saying. Mm-hmm. Back to the show.
Back to the show. So if you buy a ticket, then you're going to be put on next week's wheel. And for every ticket you buy, you're put on the wheel twice, right?
And what are we
And
what are we giving away?
Well,
We're
they
gonna
have
give
to
away
come back
something
next
good.
week
I
to
know
find
that.
out.
What's
But
that?
it'll
They
have
have
to
to
be-
come back next week to find out
That's
what the
right.
super
But
will
it'll
be.
be like a super wheel kind of gift.
No, it will be,
It'll be
yes.
a good gift, high-end gift.
Yeah.
Like
It's
the,
it's
like the
but
farm.
it's a separate wheel.
Then the
It's a
super-
new car.
It's a separate wheel, but Brian, let me ask you this, and you can let me know. So for every time they buy a ticket, And if you, so Barb Kevin bought 5 tickets today.
Okay.
Okay.
So she gets 5 slots.
So she gets 5 entries on the wheel.
This is going to be a crowded
Frank
wheel.
just bought 5 tickets.
Frank Ferruccio just bought 5 tickets. So yay! Thank you so much. You have no idea how much this means. And so, you know, I can't encourage you enough. I just thank you. And I wish that you could all come because I would, well, I'll be all over the place, but we would love to see you here because it's just such a special night. And I love this little town so much that we're going to be in, Annville, Pennsylvania.
So here's my 2 cents worth on the subject.
All
Not
right.
specifically on Pennsylvania
Okay.
and all that, but just as we have talked about since the beginning of the show, you know, the thing about life is that you are in this unique spot and things cross your path that you can help with.
Yeah.
So always check and see if this is something that you want to help with, because that's what we're all doing here on this planet, is we are all capable of doing little things to help other people. And if everybody just did a little bit, the overlap is staggering. So I'm not saying this is for everybody. I'm just saying, see if this is for you. If it is, jump in, because this is an amazing cause. And for those of you that really love this concept as much as Kat does, because she goes to a lot of trouble to go do this show and flies all the way across the country, that shows her commitment and passion to this cause. We all have to find that level. There's multiple levels of how you get involved on the earth.
It doesn't always have to be, you know,
you could
big
give
and
someone a
splashy.
hug or say something kind to somebody. It doesn't cost a penny. That's a big deal too.
Yeah,
you
and
could
it-
not be an asshole on the road and honk and there's a lot of ways just to make the planet better. But then there are things you can do financially when possible.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my 2 cents worth, Joe. Just wanted to jump in there because that's not really exactly my area. Hope I didn't overstep.
Oh, well,
No, I
Jeff-
just wanted to throw out that because I believe in what they did for my grandson and I want to help the cause. For every person that buys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tickets, or every person you have that buys one from your show, I'll buy 1 ticket to match each buyer.
what?
Matching funds.
Oh my God, Joe.
Very magnanimous. See there? She's got the vibe, man.
I could cry right now.
I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I believe in this.
Oh my
I
gosh,
just
Joe.
wanted to
Thank you.
redirect-
Huh?
And by the way, I said matching buyers, not funds. So,
Yeah.
like
Match-
somebody buys
right,
tickets,
matching
I'll buy.
buyers. I love that. No, it works for me.
I just wanted to reiterate because some people are asking where to donate. So if you just go to Catherine Hicklin. Hello,
Go ahead and put a
America.
link in
Hi.
there.
Hello.
Oh,
If
my
somebody
God.
can
If
My
put
this-
a
name is
link.
Barbara Walters.
For somebody that's so showbiz oriented,
No, 'cause
he can
I-
never find the camera.
You
How's
see,
that possible?
Because so it is pinned to the top of the YouTube chat. If you just look at the top, Ryan has pinned the link there, and you can go to catherinehicklin.com and it will. Actually, the link will take you directly there because he has the link there. So
That's
then
right.
you just add it to your cart and you purchase your donation ticket. And,
Yep, and it's right on the
back to you.
homepage.
This has been
Congratulations,
2020.
you found the camera. the first lesson in show business is knowing where the camera is at all
Well,
times.
no, I got to
First
know where
lesson.
my mark is.
First
the red light.
lesson in
Yeah.
showbiz.
But more important than that is knowing where the good light is.
That no.
Which
The
is
first is knowing
not on
first,
me.
First, you got to be on camera, because if you're not on camera, the light's kind of irrelevant. Then the light's critical. Number
Exactly.
2 is where's the light. We don't give him much of a light because
I'm
he
okay
doesn't
with
want to be
that.
seen half the time.
I'm Joan Crawford today in the shadows.
There in the
Just the
shadow.
strip of light.
Can you bring Joe back up for me so that I can?
He's there.
Hey, Joe, I can't thank you enough for doing this for us tonight and for just being such an incredible friend to me and to us. And I can't wait to see you both. And I just
What
love you.
family
Thank
does.
you.
I'm
It's
just
what family
wondering
does.
if we could arrange a little thing where, like, if I came down one time, where I could be drug into her courtroom as one of the.
Oh, Joe's wife is a judge.
She's
Yes.
a judge, but could we arrange for me to be brought in before her, or do I have to do
Yes.
something bad for that to happen?
Now, I can get someone to arrest you for absolutely nothing, Todd.
There you go. See, I knew you were
I'm
connected.
sure I can find a friend.
Yeah.
I think that would be like, what a surprise that would be, right? To have someone drag me in front of her, like, next case 23-7B,
Yes.
State of Pennsylvania versus Todd Fisher. What?
Todd,
People
someday
are
you'll have to
donating.
I'm
you'll
coming.
have to get Beth to tell you about all the people that appear in front of her that she realizes she has known through the years. And it's hysterical.
Now, is it usually like DUIs or something along those lines?
It's been all kinds of things.
Oh, it
It's
gets serious in that
sadly-
courtroom.
Yeah, it's been a lot. And
Well-
sometimes she'll sit there and see somebody that was her, that went to school with her, but looks like they're 105. And she just doesn't understand it.
What's your line, Kat?
34 tickets have been donated.
No, what's your line
My line?
about wearing the age on your
Oh,
face?
before 30, you have the face you were born with, and after 30, you have the face you deserve.
There
Because
you
you
go,
wear
Joe.
your life in your face. I do believe
go.
that. Joe, how many times have you looked at somebody? Because when, as a mentalist, one of the things that the skills we rely on is reading people. And so, but you don't have to be a people reader, professional people reader, to look at somebody and realize if they've had a good life, an easy life, a happy life, a miserable life, an angry life, because it's all in your face. As you get older, it really wears, and so it's. I get when I see someone who has a hard life etched in their face, it actually makes me sad because, and then you see people that twinkle.
Yeah, but hard life is it's a matter of many factors because I know people that have nothing and are happier than people that have everything. So it's not about the stuff, the nice house, or how easy your life is. I know people that work really tough, crummy jobs that are loving their life. They have kids and family, and they have this great life, even though they're not rich and famous and all the stuff that some people seem to think is so important. Because really, I've seen many people with what most people would say not much, and yet they're super happy people. And so therefore, it isn't just about how tough, or how you don't have enough stuff.
It's also about rising above hard things that happen
Circumstances.
and circumstances from the time we're small to now. And, it's about a lot of things, really. But anyway, I just really appreciate all of you so much. Just a few minutes ago, Ryan said we'd just sold 35 of these, and so I'm really happy. We have 800 seats, so you can imagine how daunting that is to, do.
Well, you guys did this last time, and you were able to sell.
Well, we were in a theater. What do you think, Joe, or Ryan, about 300 seats in the theater last year?
Yeah, I think
250. 250,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just
Well,
said,
no,
yeah.
800's a big showroom.
Well,
it's-
you never expect you're going to sell out 800 seats. I mean, that's just, but I will say that we would love to hit at least 5 or 6, and we only have a few weeks left, so we have to really figure it out,
clever
yeah.
ways.
But it's a big, I just am so grateful to you, Joe, to you, Ryan, who is the one that actually introduced me to the Four Diamonds because it's a Pennsylvania-based
Did you
charity.
mention? Was it advertising? Like, did you mention Taylor Swift is coming as a pop-up appearance? Would that do it?
No, that's not true.
That's
Don't
not
listen
true.
to him. No, it's just me.
Just you.
That's right.
Well, you're cooler than her.
I'll stand in a corner. I'll just stand at perch somewhere.
You don't need a wig. I got news for you.
There you go. And
Didum-dum.
Joe, thank you so much. I don't know if you want to sit and hang with us or what you would like to do, but we're going to have a good show right now. We're about to blast into
Okay.
orbit. So you're going to
I'm
stay.
gonna hang for a little.
You're going to hang? Good. Okay. I'm psyched.
I'll be both.
All
I'll be
right.
both.
So
Hey,
just
Kat,
so, yes.
You're getting comments, and I must second that. You're looking very beautiful tonight on camera. You look.
Yes, she does look.
You look
Really?
great.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
lightened my foundation a little tonight.
No,
I'm
but-
trying to think of what else. Oh, and I slapped my makeup on in 6 minutes.
Well,
and-
it's a very natural look.
Is it? I'm very happy tonight too. I've been getting rest. I stopped rushing around. I started spending more time with myself, and I took it. I'm starting to take a day a week off and do things for myself, which I haven't ever done in ever, and it has made a huge difference because I'm sleeping better at night, and I think that has something to do with it. And one more thing before we start into the show. Tomorrow I'm doing Cat Solo Live on my Facebook page. And we've been in a series called Self-sabotaging. What is it? Are you doing it? What is it? What is it? And how to stop it. So tomorrow is I think our final day on that. So it's tomorrow at 2 o'clock on my Facebook page. It's really a great subject, and it's not like, heavy and serious, because I don't do that kind of stuff. I try to educate with a lot of love and some fun, and, it's emotional intelligence 101, and I wish they had taught that in school, but since they didn't, you can come to my Facebook Live solo and learn some of it. It's really fun, and everybody seems to really like this particular series because people that self-sabotage don't know they're doing it, and they don't understand why their life isn't where they want it to be. So it's a really important subject, and I'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on my Facebook page.
Now, didn't you just do a show yesterday?
No, I just went on to tell everyone hi. I couldn't do the show because
That was like an hour high.
No, it wasn't. It was a half-hour high.
All right, well, I don't know.
45 minutes to be exact.
Yeah, because
think-
once I get started on a subject, sometimes we can go past an hour, and I knew no way I was going
I
to
think
make
the
that.
best thing to do for you is just to put you on 24/7.
You think so?
Well, people watch the Eagle Cam. We'll just put a camera on her all the time. They can watch her sleeping. Whatever she's doing, we just have a camera on her like the Eagle Cam. You know what I'm talking about, the Eagle Cam.
Yeah, the Eagle Cam where you watch them in their
being
nest.
born, but we
yeah.
just follow you around like what was Truman? It'll be like the Truman Show with Kat. We
can I just
follow
tell
around
you,
everywhere.
I've always thought, but I don't know if I would do it, but I've always thought that this place is a complete reality show because it's so crazy. Like
Oh, no question about
I mean,
it.
because
Wouldn't require much editing either.
but you know what?
Nonstop drama.
After bright lights, though, I have to say, having cameras around all the time because so much ended up on the cutting room floor. But you do forget those cameras are there after
That's a
about
different
5 minutes.
format too, of course. That's
Yeah, was
knowing
not
that
really.
it's documentary live, but you knew that it was to be edited, and we had control. When you're doing a reality live show, now they're editing those shows too, but I mean, in the purest sense, it would be better to not edit anything, and that would almost make a clever format as an unedited, for a change, unscripted reality show,
Well,
and it's called The Cat Show, like Truman, and we just follow Cat around.
oh
everywhere
my
she
God,
goes.
the ratings
Whatever
would tank.
she sees, we have
The
we should have
Fish Bowl. Now that's a good title. No one should
Fish
take
Bowl.
it. The
There
Fish
you
Bowl.
go. Well, that would be more about. And
Thank
then
you,
I'd have to be involved.
everybody.
Well, of
Thank you,
course.
Jennifer
We put one
Klatt.
camera on Cat,
Yes.
on her head, like one of those, like a GoPro kind of thing. Another camera on me. That way you have POV, and then you have other cameras locked off
all the animal cams.
in different.
The emu
locations.
cam, the chicken cam, the geese cam, the doves cam.
And then you just have a thing that happens like in the bathroom. You have to go to the bathroom. You just have a little cover the lens, and you just hear the whoosh. Because it's,
Oh God! All right, so before we go to the show, which is really, we have some fun clips, and it's really
when is
great.
the show starting?
First of all, the show starts now.
Ah,
Okay.
but I just want to say
Are you
that
going to be
boys
doing?
are
we
easier
showing
than
anything
girls.
first
Excuse
before we
me.
go to clips?
I just want to say that boys are easier to raise than girls.
Okay.
One more time. I just think it's important that we get that firmly established. Okay.
Right. Do we have any things to go over before
Well,
we
We're
start?
just going to start the topic of the show. I know I'm going to be on camera, so see, I put the soft focus
There he goes.
glasses on, and that's how I know.
Now he's really doing Joan.
Exactly. Now I'm really Crawford-esque. No, but anyway, yeah, no, we were just going to go into tonight's topic.
Okay, so tonight's topic is when late night shows were fun. Johnny Carson and all the great late night people, and talk shows in general. Merv Griffin, Mike Douglas. What has happened? Talk shows are so angry and bitter now. It's not fun. I wouldn't even want to go on one. It's just so.
Honestly, you'd almost have to
There's so
run
mu-
the footage, of the whole show to understand how it's evolved. But there is the producers have to be blamed.
Yeah.
More than anybody. I don't know I can't see that the hosts are driving all of this. Much of it's written, as you know, and on prompter.
Oh, everything
So
is
I
to the
don't
letter.
really- I'd have to believe, unlike Carson, who had very little on prompter. He had
Yes.
notes in front of him and on something. But Carson's show was always fun and entertaining, and And even if they did talk about politics, it was really fun and funny and done like Will Rogers used to do great satire on politics. And it's a rich subject. Unfortunately, everybody has gotten too serious.
Yeah.
Might be a good way to look at it, because it's gotten, it's some of it's ugly what's going on, and then some of the things that are said. So I would just suggest that there isn't anything like it anymore. I mean, Carson was such a nice man, and he was so nice to me and Carrie, and you know, my mom loved going on the Carson show. And anyway, we've prepared. Seth has prepared.
Yep.
A little montage, lengthy
Yeah.
montage.
So Debbie,
Two.
Yes.
So we'll comment as we go.
and Debbie loved doing those shows, and they
Loved.
loved having her. And of course, it was a different world, and you know, it's just going to be fun to
But to
revisit
me,
these
it
tonight.
was Carson. Merv Griffin was a very different version. Carson was in a world of his own.
Yes.
But Merv Griffin was in his little world, and then if Larry King had a
I loved Larry
place.
King, and Mike Douglas, and who else? Tom Snyder had a show.
Who'd you mention?
Dinah
Oh,
Shore.
Dinah Shore
When I was a
show.
little girl, I thought Dinah Shore was just the
there
greatest.
were a lot of shows that were more like expose, like you know, Sally, Jesse, Raphael. Those are more like daytime kind of expose shows. We're kind of focused on nighttime talk show.
Yes.
You know, people were going on these shows primarily to promote their movie, their tour, whatever, or there was a subject and Carson wanted to do a skit with you. My mother sometimes would go on just to do a skit with him.
Right.
So
And you know what's funny is, I don't know, people watched, they stayed up late to watch these because it was so, it was like
entertaining.
it was like being in a club, yeah.
Oh,
you-
that. Oh, you mean there's a requirement to entertain people? Oh, well, that's a frickin' epiphany. Okay. I
All
mean,
right. So shall we go into number
Well,
one?
sure. Well, speaking of Johnny Carson, I think we'll just slide
Start
right
with
in.
that?
Hit it, Jake.
Okay.
How are you?
Gee, you're welcome back to New York, John.
Have to come back to the big city here occasionally to get revitalized.
Well, everybody misses you here, I know that.
Thank you.
But we love having you on the coast.
How do you like being back here, though? You're the one who's,
Well, I'm not a big city girl, kind of. I'm not used to the big city, but everybody's very nice, I must say. You know, they gave me a whole thing about New York, and it was kind of not friendly and all that. But I don't know, as you walk along the street, the guy in the cab, and, hey, Debbie!
Oh, yeah.
Let me open it, Irene!
Wait till you go buy a construction outfit about noon during a lunch break. You'll hear some dialogue that'll,
Oh,
Oh,
no,
yes.
they're very friendly.
They are.
I'm enjoying myself. It's hard, you know, doing a Broadway show.
You've
I've
never done a Broadway show before, have you?
No, it's unusual. It's sort of, well, it's another world. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way. I mean, I've done vaudeville for years, and you have too, and I used to do summer stock a lot in the sense of touring and doing plays. But this is really something else to start with right from the beginning and put it together, find the right play. First of all, we had the right play. Harry
Right.
Rigby had this score, Irene, which is a great score, and My Sweet Little Alice Blue Gown, and You Made Me Love You.
Those are all
I
from
didn't
Irene?
want to do, yes. And They Go Wild, Simply Wild Over Me, all that stuff. They have great songs.
got some
My
good music
Sweet
they
Little
had in
Alice
there.
Blue Gown.
You mentioned playing vaudeville. You weren't old enough to play vaudeville
I
as
closed
such.
it. Oh, shut up.
Well, what we
I don't
say
need
vaudeville, I mean... Debbie Reynolds.
Got Danfield. Just got back from Acapulco. I remember this well.
Oh, you know Robert? Have you met before?
We just met outside in
Robert
the
Blake.
corridor. Hi there.
Edward, you know?
Well,
You
I just had to give you, could I give you a big kiss just to feel what is like?
Get it. You got about 10 minutes, John?
No.
I mean, that was,
Well,
I was
that's...
fascinated with all that. I've never been down there before, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's
Bought a new
always,
dress
always
just for
fun.
you.
That is. Did you?
Green.
Did you really buy that just for the show? Are you?
I do. Every time I lose money when I come on this show.
That's true. This is
No,
not.
I mean, no
This is
people
not the
dress
highest paying
casually.
show.
There are some people wear underwear like this, and I say, "Get nothing here."
The dress costs more than the check, right?
There's no check here. You know that. You always lose money, but I enjoy myself. I have such a good time here, so I like to get
I'm
dressed
glad.
up.
It's good to
I
see
do
you
this
again.
for you and Doc and all the boys.
Yeah, and the audience like to see you when you come in dressed like that.
I like to get all done up. And if you got to look pretty, so that you got to get done. You put a door on, so that you're adorable.
You slide into that beautifully.
She wouldn't know what to do with you.
We are back with the lovely Debbie Reynolds. You're holding that book again. Yeah.
Well, it's yours. You told me to hold
Well, it's called Debbie, isn't it? And that's, I recognize that face. Now, is this going to tell us everything, Debbie?
Well, I'm just going to let you read it and be surprised.
All right, we will look forward to doing that.
Thank
It's
you.
exciting being here.
This
isn't
is
it? Yeah.
exciting. I always wanted to dance here, but I wasn't tall enough.
Have you ever played? Do you play this game at home? Are you any good at this
Of
game?
course, you. What do you mean? This is the most
How many
fabulous
cars have you
game.
won?
I haven't won a thing at home.
It's been great having you. Thanks so much
Thank
for dropping
you.
in. We appreciate
Well,
it.
it's wonderful.
Thank you, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll wrap it up in New York. Bye-bye.
Oh, is that? Oh, that's part one, eh?
Well, we actually, here we go. Oh, so we have the dresses.
You
So
run camera, you can get close-ups while we're
that's
doing
right.
the ride.
So the I love both dresses, but the first Johnny Carson clip dress, which is next to me here, this dress is so beautiful.
It's a Halston, right?
It's a Trevia.
Trevia, yeah, and that is a gorgeous, gorgeous gown. I
There's
mean,
the close-up camera on it.
yep, there it is.
Check your focus on that, and we'll go in close.
And this dress, it's in remarkably good shape. I'm always surprised
What do you have?
at how good a shape that they can stay in. This dress is, 40 years old, right?
Well, what did we just look at?
Well, it was
50.
Johnny Carson.
40. Yeah, it's 50.
So, but it's, I don't have gloves on, so I don't want to touch it. But just the little details in the sleeve, the jewels in the sleeve are just absolutely
The
beautiful.
jewels, madam.
There's little crosses in here, and I wish I could show it to you, but
Well, you can. He's got the close-up camera.
okay.
Go to the sleeve. Zoom in.
Go to the oh, good work. That's not an easy thing to do, Seth. Good job.
Well, especially with
So then we have, but just the little tiny details of this dress.
you can go closer even.
And also up here as you go up the neckline, you see more jewels there. And I just love it. And then there's her little smiling face next to it. How I miss that face. How I miss that smile. So I feel lucky because we can watch her in movies.
Well, what's unique about this dress being up here is not only is this, a thing that we share as part of this show and tell, but it's also going up on the store site.
It is on the Debbie Reynolds
on the site.
studio store right now for
This
sale.
dress?
That
This dress.
Oh my gosh.
So
We're
it's unusual because normally we don't have things up that are high-end that are for sale.
Yeah.
So that one is up for sale, and so is the next item that we're going to be showing in a moment.
which are right next
Oh, we
to you.
we already showed it. It was
Well,
the
no, what, the red dress?
no, but it was on the Wheel of Fortune.
Yes, that's right there.
But let's do the red Wheel of Fortune. Well, who cut the Todd? Well, as long as you did that, let's settle this matter. As I said, boys are much easier than girls. I just want to get back to that point for a moment that boys are easier.
You are
and could
so
see,
cute.
No, but you see my point. I mean, like how difficult could that be? I mean, it's just a very simple situation. Okay, so back to the close-up camera.
Who?
Here is the
So,
red dress.
which has just sold.
What?
It just sold.
What did?
The red dress.
Who bought it?
John Greer.
John Greer bought the red dress. Yeah,
The
this
belts so this is from the Wheel of Fortune.
is that a
show.
jumpsuit?
It's from the Wheel of Fortune.
Oh my God,
show.
it's beautiful.
Tell us about it, Seth. I mean, you
So
know more.
it's designed by Paco, and you can pronounce his
Oh.
last name better than I can.
Oh no, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot
I can't
pole.
pronounce his last name. Paco Masiles, I think is how you pronounce it, something like that.
Now
But he was
Paco did all of my mother's high-end gowns too. In fact, this is a Paco back behind Kat right
The gold?
there. That's a Paco. Well, we
Yeah.
don't see it exactly, but anyway, the gold dress a lot of high end. About half her dresses were Paco designs.
And so this she wore on Wheel of Fortune, and we decided to put it up. But the fun thing that's going on in the studio store right now, which I didn't even get to before this one sold, is we're having a 25% off sale in honor of your mom's birthday.
That's right. Oh,
And
shoot.
so right now, these high-end pieces included are 25% off of the listed price.
Oh.
Right. So, not normal that well, first of all, it's hard to find pieces that I'm willing to part with, and I really didn't. I mean, this is a borderline one right here. Because it's a high-end brand, and it's on the Carson show, so it was tough to make a decision. But looking at the amount of stuff we still have, it's sometimes you just have to say the 200 other ones will have to do.
Yes, well, let's just take a look at, want to take a look. First of all,
Which
whatever one you, let's go ahead and look at the dress John Greer bought, because I think that
he bought that already.
Yeah, that jumpsuit, I hope it wouldn't fit me, because I think that I would have loved, but I'm sure it's too small, because she was as tiny as
Maybe
it
you
gets.
could work out a buyback from John Greer.
No, but I
Deal.
think that just is so
John,
gorgeous.
maybe you could lease it to her.
John,
on the road.
congratulations.
You could
That
lease
was
back
a
the dress,
good get.
and
I
I can
love it.
sign it for you.
Yes.
Now,
Just kidding.
Okay, well, yes.
so do you want to go back to that one?
I want to
really
go back to the trivia, because I want to show, let me just see. This is also on the site. I have no idea the details, but I can tell you that this dress is absolutely gorgeous. And that was and you get the clips with this. When you buy these dresses, you get the clips so that you can run them if you want to, like we do in
Like
our
we do.
museum. We
Yes.
have little screens next to each costume or artifact, and so we run the scene that they were in, and we have, and John, you'll probably want to do this maybe, because these little monitors aren't very expensive, and it's so cool when people come to see your things, and Frank, you too, but it's like when you have a clip, they sell these little things. They're repeaters, but what
Little
are
video players.
video players, but you hook it into the back of your TV, and it takes the clip you put on the hard drive, on the flash drive, and it just plays it over and
I'll
over.
do a better job.
Yeah, okay.
They're
And take it
inexpensive-
away,
they're
Todd.
inexpensive video or media players. They're like under $100. They take USB drives. They'll play back MPEG, different type format. We'll be sending you a flash drive with this, and you plug it in, and you hook up an inexpensive computer monitor to it or something, and you're off and running with what I think is kind of a museum quality display. And not to get too far off topic, but we were speaking earlier about, the difficulty of girls compared to boys. And I just wanted to show you that this actually shows the entire story right there. You can tell Carrie is obviously having a fit, and I am chill. And so I just want to reinforce the point of how much easier boys are than girls. It's just something that we could do in the evening while we're talking about trivia.
Yes. So the trivia dress is on the site and for sale at 25% off,
By the way,
which is
wasn't
great.
trivia?
Tri-
Wasn't trivia?
quick? Switch to Ryan. He has it on the thing.
Ryan now has it up there.
Also, the one that did the Marilyn Monroe subway
Yes,
dress.
he did the subway dress.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's a very famous designer.
There was a
and-
big argument about the subway dress, whether it was an off-the-rack dress. And there's a lot of people that believe that it was an off-the-rack dress, and they just modified it to be that. And I don't know the end of the answer. I know it was heavily modified because obviously we owned that dress, and you could see the way it was put together. But I had other Monroe dresses that Trivia did as well, and his construction methods were very similar. But I mean, the guy is an amazing designer. But I had a couple of his costume sketches, where he scribbles his name. He's pretty substantial.
I have
costume guy.
an off-topic question about these costumes, because I remember when we had all of them, and I would go into where they were being stored. This is before the first auction, and I would be just blown away about what was in there, and everything was covered, of course, and you had to wear gloves when you touched them. But I used to
Yep.
look at them and think, I wonder if there's any DNA on any of this, and if so, could we clone Clark Gable? Could we clone Marilyn Monroe?
Well, I mean, they don't really have, cell reconstruction from like sweat necessarily, but like if you had a hair, supposedly, then you had a cell. So you theoretically, could at that
Yeah,
point.
but isn't it my weird mind went there immediately when I went in to look at things. It was so remarkable, especially the Monroe pieces, and they were kept in safes,
Yeah.
huge safes.
Well, I mean,
But I would go in there and just lift the lid and look at the subway dress and.
well, at different times, the irony is nobody, for decades, my mother had this stuff, literally hanging in her closet on hangers. And then many years later, we figured out that was a bad idea. We started laying things down. And at different times, the stuff, traveled around depending upon where it needed to be or what we were doing. Of course, in the end, you're talking about when everything was brought for the auction, too. Then everything came back to the ranch and it was repacked. And then we were making decisions as to what was going to go in the auction. And, again, not to get too far off topic, but you could see here plainly the girls are far more difficult than boys are. There I am having a great time with my mother in the mud. And Carrie is crying because my mother is covered in mud. For me, I think it's freaking hilarious. This is the movie the second time around we have that costume. And so I'm just saying, boys are easier to deal with than girls. It's just, it's just a point.
Okay, I'm sure we'll revisit
Well,
that soon.
I just
But-
wanted to let everybody know, so these items are all on the home store page of the Debbie Reynolds Studio store. So you just go straight there, and they're there.
Oh,
And then these are on the side of you, Todd.
okay, so these are on the side of me.
Shoes.
Oh, so you got the close-up on that one.
Oh, how cute are they? Oh my gosh,
So
they
those
look.
are from
they're
the
so tiny.
Those are from when she was with Robert Blake on the Tonight Show in that pink gown that we just saw. These are the shoes she was wearing that night.
Oh, so we didn't have the pink gown, but we had the shoes. Eh?
So when she was kissing on Robert Blake, he was cute as a button back then,
now,
wasn't he?
is he the guy that ended up killing his wife or something?
Yes, he is. At
Oh.
Vitello's, allegedly, because he wasn't
Well,
convicted of that. So
okay.
we always have to
now
say
these
allegedly.
have a name in them. What's this name here?
I don't
Joseph
know.
Magnans.
Yeah.
You see Joseph?
Oh, I remember Joseph
Here,
Magnus.
maybe we could zoom in on that. That'd be kind of cool.
That was the
Zoom
store
right
when
in
I-
the middle there. You'll see Joseph.
In the day, yeah.
See, it says JM. Keep going. It'll go further.
Did they bind her feet when she was little? I've never
No.
seen such little feet in my
She's
life.
there you go. Look at that, Kat. Look at that picture.
Wow. That camera's amazing.
Now, does that say 5.5?
5B.
5B. Size 5, Kat.
Yes.
Ooh, there's a good shot of Joseph. So,
5.
Size 5.
That is so tiny.
Very small. Yeah, she had very small feet, but she was a very small person. I think both her and Carrie lied about their height. I think they were both about 5'1" at best.
Oh, no. You're no way. Carrie, I don't even think was 5 feet tall.
Well, she was on paper.
Your mom looked like maybe 4'11".
Well,
right under
when
5
you
feet.
when you wear this, that gives you a little help, right? What
Well,
is
of
that?
course.
That's like that's 2.5 inches.
Yeah.
So you're getting a little boost there. Now
Yeah.
these also have. Now these were used in another production. Do you know that, Seth?
What's that?
These shoes were used in another production because they actually have a production code written on the side.
I figured that they were from some TV.
Well, when you put them in a movie or a television show, then they handwrite the production codes in here, and these have production code numbers in them. So I suspect these were used in something else besides that.
Oh,
Yes.
there
So
you go.
you guys are getting, because if they both, same number, yeah.
The Ferruccio bought the Trevia gown. Congratulations, Frank. And that was Robert Blake, not Eric Estrada
I
on the
said-
Tonight Show.
Who said Erica?
Janie said that she,
Oh.
yeah. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I just
Oh,
checked
no,
in.
I don't know. I just
Yeah,
didn't hear.
but that was Robert Blake, and he.
Well, I'm actually glad that John and Frank end up with
Me
this.
too.
I feel good about it. I mean, I can't control, obviously, where everything goes. I can only hope that it goes to some place where it will be appreciated. I know in that case, the two of them are excellent caretakers and stewards of this.
Oh, for sure.
And I feel like, you could, things that we sold in the auction, the first auctions, some of that stuff just disappeared literally into the Middle East and, South Korea and places.
Japan. It went to
all
a
over
lot
the
of
world.
places.
And I
yeah.
mean, I'm not putting down that, they should enjoy that stuff.
Yeah.
But To me, it would be better, if it was held by people that were true patriots and fans of the business. You could be a patriot other than the country, you could be a patriot of whatever.
Yeah.
So we're movie patriots,
Oh, I love that. You're movie patriots.
Movie Patriots.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
Well,
then so the shoes are
so
still available on
okay,
the
yes,
store.
the shoes are
and
still
that's what's-
available, and
yeah,
we
these
are
are not
going
going to be fitting on this anyway, but you are getting more than what we've discussed. I can assure you that I know these numbers. These are not Joseph Magnin stock numbers. Let's get a close-up on it. I'll show it to him. Get back with your camera. I'm going to show him these numbers because this is actually...
I wonder how you can look that up.
Oh, I know how to... I have the codes.
Yeah?
I have a guy put the book together. You got to go all the way in on this. It's going to have to go super tight. And you see right there? Look, Kat. See, those are
Oh, yeah.
Those are the numbers.
Yeah, I see.
There's a set of numbers here. You generally don't see this on just anything.
Did they have Sharpies back then?
It's not a Sharpie.
Well, I mean, it's lasted a long time.
Yeah, well,
I wonder what kind of pen they used.
let's get this finger off. See, now that is the size right down there.
Yes.
But these numbers here, I don't think that's a stock code. That reminds me of a production code. So it may be that this was used in more than just the television show itself. So might be a little potluck there. So that's kind of a neat little feature. They're cool shoes. Okay, so we've covered the shoes, and we've been very, very. I mean, I think good people.
Oh yeah, no, I'm thrilled.
I think good people. Well,
Yes.
before you get into that, I think it's important that we do have one more thing to say here. That boys are much easier to deal with than girls. You can see right here. I mean, the baby just looks at the mommy and says, milk. She knows to give him the bottle. He just takes the bottle on his own, no help. A little support there with her right hand. Other than that, he's drinking on his own. So easy. Boys are just so much easier. I'm just saying, it's come up a couple of times today. It's not my fault. I did not originate this subject. Just saying.
I love when babies, their little legs, like they have folds.
They hang
I
down.
call them Michelin.
Fat
You have a little
folds.
Michelin tire baby.
Oh, they're definitely fat folds.
Dough. I call it dough. They look
So
like little
cute.
dough. Speaking of outfits, Kat, a lot of people are wondering who designed yours tonight because people are wanting to buy
You're
it.
gonna love this. So I wanted to, for Halloween one year, I wanted to be Black Widow, from the Marvel comics, and so this was.
Like most girls.
I
want
had
that.
this
I think all
actually.
girls have wanted
I
that.
had this made for a Halloween costume. It didn't have all these flags, my name on it or anything. I put those patches on later. But so this was my Black Widow Halloween costume. It's very tight. It's a jumpsuit, and it had a vest and knives that went in the leg and blah blah blah. And so it was
Knives?
yeah, because she has weapons on her. Yeah. So this was that. And then when Halloween was over, I thought, gosh, I really love this jumpsuit. I wonder how. And then when we had the Formula One Sports Illustrated party here,
Oh, then you.
I put the Formula
Racing.
One racing patches on there. I got those on Amazon and sewed them on. And then this, someone had given to me just a patch with my name on it, which I thought was really great. So I found it and I put that there. So that's how I came to.
So you're the designer.
Well, I mean, I had somebody make it for me, but I told them, what I wanted, and so it was. So that's the story of this, and it has zippers everywhere and kind of things, and I don't know. There's the story of my outfit. I do love it though.
Okay.
All right, so now we're gonna go back and to watch. Oh, we had questions. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Someone was asking. Let's
Yeah.
Whether
Yes?
boys are easier than girls?
Yes, actually, that
question?
was the question.
I thought that
There's
question
a huge
might come
debate
up.
going on now. Big lawsuit coming our way. Someone said that they heard through the grapevine, which I know the answer, but I'll let you answer, Todd. Did Jack Warner, was he the one who gave your mom that Subway dress, or did she purchase the dress?
No, she purchased the dress. First of all, Jack Warner was not in charge of 20th Century Fox. In fact, we could look up the guy that was in charge because he did arrange my mom to pre-buy from the 20th Century Fox auction. And he said, you can have any Marilyn Monroe dress or any of these high-end dresses for $1,000 a piece, flat. Didn't matter. And so she bought every one she could find at the time. Like on the racks, you had to go look in this enormous warehouse full of costumes, rack after, just double and triple stacked high as far as you could see, giant warehouses. No climate control, just not even that clean of an environment. There were all these high-end dresses just hanging on wooden hangers with paper clips through the costume with a tag that had acid paper, so it would burn, in many cases, the silk fabrics. So, man, I mean, not a great situation. But anyway, I forgot the guy's name at the time. So, but think about 1973. No.
It says
before,
Gordon Stolberg.
Gordon Stolberg.
Is that
Thank
who
you.
it was?
Who said that?
I did.
You did.
Do I get a
1970.
prize?
It was before Irene. So that is 72. So we're talking 71. If Gordon Stolberg was head of Fox in 1972, then it was him. There were others over the years that helped her a lot, but that was the best of all. The Fox pre-buy for her, she went to the auction also and bought a lot of things, but the pre-buy was critical because he basically recognized the fact that the mission was important.
Yes.
And he said, I understand what you're doing, and so I'm going to let you pre-buy. So Fox, of course, had great stuff. Now, you mentioned Jack Warner. To this day, Warner Brothers has never sold anything in the way of costumes. So all of the Warner Brothers stuff that you see in the market is stolen. And a lot of it is just run the statute of limitations out. But everything from the ascot dress on down had been stolen from Warner Brothers. They never auctioned off their inventory the way MGM and Fox did. So MGM acquired other collections while they were the big MGM studios. They had the costumes from United Artists and from RKO and all of that. That's how we ended up with RKO costumes. We wouldn't have those either. They just gobbled up these other studios, like the
Yes.
big corporate raiders do. But that's the answer to that.
Was it Zanuck who was head of Warner? No, not
No.
at that time.
I mean, if somebody wants to look it up, I mean, it
Yeah,
can't be
that's
the,
who I found, Gordon Stolberg. But
Stolberg.
anyway,
It sounds right to me, actually.
someone is asking also if your mother did impressions of Zsa Zsa Gabor at home as well.
No. She never really did impressions unless she was putting on shtick. Now, you got to remember that at home, Debbie is the mother.
Yes.
And like she's trying to keep law and order in a very complex environment. you know?
Yeah.
And no one knew it at the time. But you got Carrie and I both running around, in that, and we always had friends over in this big house, and it was a fiasco sort of environment. And I mean, people were. She tried to keep law and order, and so there wasn't a lot of fooling around. Like she had to almost, there were two sides to my mother. There was the mother, who was actually. I never called my mother Debbie or Mary or anything. Like my grandmother used to call my mother Mary Frances, because that's her really name. And
Yeah.
but I always called her Mom or Mommy, even throughout my life. I mean.
You called her Debbie at work when you had the hotel.
Let me tell you why that started. So people always ask me that question. Why do you call your mother Debbie? And it caused problems a lot of times. I would say, oh, my mother and I would like this or that. And they're like, who? And then you'd be like, Debbie. Oh, because if I say Mom, not everybody knows that she's my mother, or they didn't put all the pieces together. So it became expeditious to just say Debbie sometimes. So
Yeah.
if I were talking about her in some sort of environment where people didn't know necessarily who I was, I would say Debbie. But, because not everybody knows Mom.
Right.
No,
Todd's-
Ryan didn't do it. No. That was just part of, the other stuff,
The easy boy.
Yeah, I'm not really prepared for another, well, I am actually. See, now, I'll just show this. I will say that I do have this available. Now, this is what happens as you get a little older. You see the children, the nice, mellow boy, you see, is now being assaulted, you know, by the girl. So I'm actually being strangled by Carrie here. And that's a funny picture.
It is. You
Christmas
look
time.
like you're doing the Jerry Lewis.
Well, you know, look at the date on that, 1969. Yeah, so that does go with the series on the boys. It's a little off topic, but, you know, you did have to have another picture handy.
Well, it doesn't hurt.
Just because.
Yes.
Because we have them.
Well, I am loving this. Now, someone asked a question for me, and I'm trying to find it. She asked me what it was like to work with Natalie Wood, because she watched the movie The Last Married Couple in America, and that was one of my very first jobs, actually. In fact, I think it was the first job. And Natalie Wood, you can imagine, I was so young, and it was George Segal and Natalie Wood and Dom DeLuise, and there were just so many people in this movie.
Big names.
And Gil Cates was the director, and he was so lovely. I couldn't believe that they and you know, it was a small role, but it was in the movie because I was George Segal's young girl date that he used to make Natalie Wood jealous at the party. So, you know, but Edith Head designed my costume. And I had grown up reading movie magazines. Of course, I knew who Edith Head was. And when I went to get my costume fitting, I showed up at Universal Studios, and that in itself is just like, oh my gosh, you know, it was just very exciting for a young girl. And even to this day, when I think back on it, it was a very exciting thing. And I walked into the costume building, and they said, you know, you just go in that room right there and strip down to your panties, and you know, Miss Head will be in. And I'm thinking, no, it can't be. Edith Head is designing my costume. She designed all the costumes.
Yeah.
And I was very shy to be standing in a pair of heels and underwear on this, what's it called, that round thing you step up on. And she walked in, and she's so severe looking. I mean, you know, there's no mistaking Edith Head. She had a certain look, and it was very severe. And she was so kind to me. She was like, you have a nice little body.
She probably saw the panic, you know.
She probably
Took
did.
pity on you.
She did, but she was super nice to me.
Oh, no, she's a nice lady.
And, you know, so it was great. And then now to Natalie Wood. So I show up for work, and that little role took 3 weeks to shoot because it was party scene. So I was on the set for 3 weeks with all of these incredible actors. And Natalie Wood, of course, I grew up watching Natalie Wood, and she was so beautiful. And she was, I think, maybe in her late 30s or 40ish by that time. How old was she when she passed away? I don't remember. Okay, so she was in her 30s, late 30s maybe, when I was doing that film, and she was beautiful. And she and Robert Wagner had just gotten back together maybe a year before that.
For the 7th time.
Yeah, for whatever time. And so Robert Wagner would show up on the set. He would drive up in this Rolls Royce, and it was all so Hollywood and glamorous and innocent, you know, really back then. So he would drive up in his Rolls Royce at the end of the day and come to, and Gil Cates actually invited me to come to dailies, which is when you would see what you shot either the day before, or, you know, and it really, they didn't invite actors to dailies.
Oh, no, that's very true.
Yeah, and so I went, and I would sit behind, and he invited me every day, so I would go, because I needed to learn as much as I could about the film business, because I had never really been in front of a camera professionally like that, and so the best way to get an education is to actually be an extra or small roles when you're starting out, because you're there for the education, you know, like what is a mark, how does it work, how do these actors work, what does the director say, and all that sort of thing. So I can't recommend that highly enough to anybody that's breaking into the business. So I would watch Robert Wagner and Natalie Wood cuddle in front of me in dailies, and I remember thinking, is this really my life? And because I hadn't done anything, this was a big break. She was lovely, and I was so upset when she passed away in the way she did. And I watched West Side Story the other night, and I just loved her a lot. She was great. So, and my brother did her hair, so that was kind of weird.
For what?
he started cutting her hair and doing her hair color.
Coincidentally.
After I did that movie, yeah.
Nice.
So great. Thanks for the question. Okay.
I have one more before we move on to the next slew of clips. While we're on the topic of all movie stars, I'll blend two to make one.
Okay.
Someone wants to know, what was your mother's relationship, if you can recall, with either Judy Garland or Joan Crawford?
I'm not sure about Joan Crawford. I only met her a couple of times, and I was young. But Judy Garland, I can remember very well because my mother was very taken with her, both professionally and personally. And I think my mother also gravitated, to people that, needed a friend and needed to be loved. And,
Yeah.
and one thing about Judy and Elizabeth and people like that is they did need a lot of reinforcing that they were loved. And Judy was unbelievable talented, and had gone through a lot of difficult times in her career, and they abused her at the studio badly. And she always had financial trouble and men trouble. So boy, did they have something in common there. My mom had man troubles. And
Yeah.
of course, that's when they were buddies. My mom had split up with Eddie, and of course, my mom used to love to go and watch her perform because she was, you talk about someone that puts it all out there on the stage. I mean, when she was on the stage,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
I don't know if you can really watch, if you've ever watched her. I encourage you, there are a lot of her performances have been filmed, but watching her perform live reminds me a lot of my mom. It's like, it was very captivating. She just put it all out there. It was so intense, and her performances were so intense. I know people can have a bad night on stage, but every time I ever saw her, even as a young boy, I can remember that she was one of those people that mesmerized you. When she sang Somewhere in the Rainbow and her nightclub act, holy mackerel. There wasn't a dry ice in the house.
Yeah.
It was ripping apart. But she would also, she belted songs. She was a belter, and it was, and her dancing and everything even. And, her daughter obviously, picked up on a lot of that. A different time, so a little different type of style, but in many ways very similar. But my mother always loved
Are
her.
you talking about Liza?
Liza,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah, no. Sitting over my mother's door in her bedroom is a hand-painted painting of Judy performing.
Yep.
And it's a
I just
beautiful-
looked at that the other day. I love it. The colors in it, the red.
It's
a
an
gorgeous
original oil painting.
Yeah.
And it was one of her prized possessions. It has Judy kind of where the hands a certain way, like she's obviously in the middle of singing to the spotlight to the audience, and it's an intense moment. So it was one of her prized possessions, that painting. And if you look in her bedroom, you'll see there's not a lot of performers hanging on the wall.
No.
So there you go. So the answer to the question is now. With other so the other actress you mentioned was
Joan Crawford.
Right. With Joan, we found that letter. My mother has signed, autographed letters with personal notes from everybody you could dream of. And there's a whole wall of these pictures. For those of you who have visited here, you have seen this. But we could not find a signed Joan to Debbie, yet we had several letters from Joan.
You couldn't find a signed photo.
A photo. Well, because everything there is signed on the photo. But for some reason, my mom never got her to sign anything on the picture. Of all the people in that wall, 100 people in that wall, but we found the letter. So we put the letter in with the picture to connect it all together. And it's a very personal letter. So they obviously had a relationship. I, don't remember her the way I do others. Of course, she had a little reputation.
I have a signed Joe Crawford. I have a book that signed by Joan Crawford, and I wouldn't part with that for anything. Seth and I are always doing lines from Mommy Dearest.
Oh,
No,
that was
I'm
one
not
of-
mad at you. I'm mad at the dirt.
Oh, yeah.
We know every line in that movie, but I love Joan Crawford because of Mildred Pierce.
Oh, well,
and,
the
you know.
lady is unbelievable. She's a legend. But that was a great example, and I can speak to this professionally, personally, and otherwise. Let's just take the daughter at her word.
Yeah.
To some degree,
Do we
I
have
had
to?
a vastly different experience, with my mother. I would just say that there's going to be some truth in there in the sense that she was more interested in her career than almost anything else.
Yeah.
And I'd seen that with a lot of people, and I can't for sure say that's the way it's been portrayed in the books and otherwise. I could see that could be a thing, but like I'll give you a picture here, and you tell me what you see.
I see that boys are easier than girls.
But also, what do you see in the face of the woman on the left? Now, that's not Debbie Reynolds.
That is Debbie Reynolds.
That's Debbie. That's Mom. That's Mommy.
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm trying to show someone the
My
difference.
gosh, she
I'm
looks so
showing you-
different there.
I'm showing you the difference between the Debbie Reynolds and Mom.
Your mom had long hair.
Yes.
So she always wore wigs.
She always wore wigs because of Sidney Gilleroff.
Oh my gosh. Go back to that picture. I
Nope,
can't
that's
believe.
all you get.
No. There. Oh my gosh. Look at that. She looks so different with long hair.
So I'm just saying there's a difference. The way that I was raised, I had a performer mother and a actress mother, and she was one way on the set. And then moments later at home, she was that lady you just saw there, which was the first thing. Did you clean your room? Or, stop that, we're having dinner right now. Right now. Everybody in the dining room, 6 o'clock, right? Everybody,
Yeah.
Mary? Just like, she was running the house.
But there's a picture you took of your mom.
The black and white one.
The black and white picture, and
that's my favorite ever.
honestly did not know who it was because
You told me that when you
she's
saw
at
it.
the beach. Her hair is, kind of
Not
in
at
her
the
face.
beach. Backyard at Greenway.
Oh, really?
Out by the pool at the
Well,
Greenway house.
it's a black and white, and her hair's long, and it's kind of in her face, and she's looking at you into the lens, and it's such a great picture.
Well, I was 11 years old when I took that picture, and it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite pictures that I've ever
What
taken.
kind of camera was that? A Nikon?
It was before my Nikon. That was taken with a Mamiya Secor, my first camera before I even had a
Oh,
Nikon.
it's so great.
And
Of course,
I
I still think the cardboard cameras are the best ever, but I don't
You're
think
not
they
getting
make them
that
anymore.
picture without a long lens and
I
a proper
know.
camera. No, look, you can do a lot with a cheap camera. Honestly, you can capture things. But when it gets down to some of the things, you need longer. Here's the picture here. So here we go. There you go.
Yes. So what I would
What do
like
you
to
see
do,
here?
there's the picture I was just talking about.
So I took that picture. Now you could tell that was the first time I had a telephoto lens because I'm not in her face. I'm a distance away. But here's what's happening. This is the fact that I didn't do something that she asked.
Yeah.
And I've been told probably twice, we're coming up on number 3, as to why I haven't cleaned my room or brushed my teeth or whatever. And so this is a pleasant look, but the message is stop whatever the hell you're doing and do what I said. That's the look. This is the look of a mother communicating just through a glance what I need to be doing next. So that's it. Now, of course, an actress can do that too, but that's a pretty classic picture. One of my favorites. I think one of my favorites that I ever took, that picture.
Well, I think that we have another reel to look at.
We have another reel.
Yeah, let's watch
Speaking
that
of
As
of
the
the
sun
old.
sinks slowly in the
legendary
west.
people,
Yes.
this reel is your mom with some of the greats, others.
All right, hit it.
Yay.
Talking with Debbie Reynolds, your body looks fabulous, but you're into exercising now, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I'm into exercising. I just did a video program for all the ladies,
Check the
actually.
earrings.
Anyone out of shape. I call it 39 and holding.
This is it, right? Or this is
That's it. Well, this is the album, and then we did a cassette, and then I did the video, where you exercise, you play it at home, you do all that. If you're out of shape, you can get in shape. That's what I say. I'm going to show you something. This is just for you,
shit.
because, see, I want to get you into shape, because I
love
hear you
that
have great...
dress.
Wait a minute. She has great buns, but lousy boobs, so I was just going to show you.
no!
I just wanted to show... See, this is simple to have, and she's got that. That's just exercise. Now, but I heard that she...
That's not exercise, that's
This is for your
luck.
boobs. No. No, you have to work for legs. You gotta do exercises and all that stuff. But these are for what I think. I've heard you say sometimes on the program that you need a little...
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But at this age now, if I want to work on my boobs, give me something that uses on my knees.
No.
Of course,
Oh, you can get... So, here. You can get on your knees and do this too. See, this is for your upper boobaloobs.
Okay.
Just for the biceps. Now, this is very simple, and I brought these for you. And they're mine. I made them. I even autographed them for you on the
Can I
side.
keep
Oh,
Just
those
try
are rare.
one lift and see if you do it
You put
right.
them in your
They're
dress?
signed.
That's how
Remember
I
I found one of
No,
those.
that wouldn't look good. Put it like this. Oh, put it like this. And hold them flat out like this. Just do it one time. Won't hurt. Try. No, once up, and we'll see him crash out. Come on. Once up. That's it. See, isn't it better already?
Nothing. It's
No.
too late.
It's not going to work. Let me
It's-
give you some of these. Stick these.
Oh, that's gonna work. Oh,
Just one on each side.
do you know, I used to think these
Forget
were
the
like
barbell.
shoulder pads.
Shoulder pads.
She's got her boobies on her No,
Now,
no.
girls today don't use these.
They don't
Does
know.
your daughter use
You
these?
know that I had to find these in the bottom drawer at my house because years ago in movies, everyone had to have, you know, like Sophia Loren, and if you didn't have them, so they'd just create great mounds of all over.
Right.
They'd push everything, whatever was there, up and in, and then you looked like you had all this thing going, which, you know, this is
Now,
it.
who
These
had
are
them?
collector's items, I want you to know. So I'm going to give them to Joan, and
Thank you.
Edgar can have such a good time. That's better than tobacco, honey.
Hiya, beautiful. Look at you.
Hi, dear.
Life
So
is
good to be
good,
back.
huh? Are you sure?
Yep.
Yeah.
I like coming on your show because
I've
you're
seen
very
that
sweet.
blouse.
I've known you for so many years.
Oh, my.
And you're a real poison, so I like it.
Yeah. A poison to develop a code.
He's such a nice
However,
guy.
we
I
have
loved him.
known each other a long time.
Yes. Let's see, 1949.
That was my father. Are you crazy?
I met you in 1949.
Freddie Martin band days.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, it was way before you were a big star. You were struggling along. Now it's so
You knew me
wonderful.
when I was struggling.
No, you're rich now. It's fabulous. One of us should be.
You were rich.
I know, but anyway, sometimes you get the money, then you lose the money. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know. And Shasha, you're getting married. You've married again.
I know, darling, but if first you don't succeed, try and try again.
And are you?
Doctor, who's always sick? I'm going to tell you about sex. You listen to me.
Yes.
I
I'm having trouble with my sex.
You are?
Yes. How do you reach a climax, Doctor?
Bill, you grab hold of it and you shake it like crazy.
Oh, I can't believe it. You're involved in a strange way in my marriage. In that, hear me out now. I am not a big believer in pantyhose. I think it's a turnoff. Now, a lot of men agree with me. I mean, if you're a bank robber, okay, but I mean,
Over your head.
my wife goes prancing around in pantyhose, and I said, why don't you wear a garter belt like Debbie Reynolds? And my wife said, and how do you know Debbie Reynolds? Well, I have a very clear view of the garter belt, and I thought it was so attractive, and I wish Mary
When did
would.
you get that view?
Well, if you watch the monitor, I found this the other day. Show it, please. Why don't we undress you?
That is priceless.
She flashed
Oh,
him.
my papa.
Very good. That was good ad lib.
Deborah Reynolds, you look sensational. I love your sequined outfit.
Hello, darling.
Hello, love.
I don't give a...
Uh-oh. How's my button? Is it all right? I think I was showing a bit of stomach cleavage to the audience.
A bit of... A whole bunch of...
Oh, really? I put on a bit of weight when I was away. I think.
Kind of cute.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Is it cute? Non-threatening cute? Is that what you're thinking?
You got a lot of hair there.
I got a little bit of hair, yeah. Not a lot.
No.
Just, and that's the only place it grows, weirdly enough.
Is that right? Doesn't grow down.
Doesn't grow down, doesn't grow up, just grows straight out.
Your wife...
I have
Wife
to.
is very busy.
Was she?
Well, if it goes up and down, you know, it just depends.
Hey, your new your book, Unsinkable, in stores now.
He's
This is
nervous.
lovely.
Nervous.
I'm not nervous. I love that. Is that from the Unsinkable Morley Brown in the back?
That's from the movie. I just like that picture.
It's a lovely picture.
Walking on water.
Do you have those? There's lots of pictures in here. Well, there's you with the girls. Look, that's
yeah, that's
lovely.
Carrie.
I have Carrie on the show from time to time. And sometimes not on the show. No, I mean...
But that's what I was just trying to figure that one out. No, she's told me, but it's all right. You're married now. They had a good time. It was before you lost your button.
I think she might have taken my button, actually. You did a little snort laugh there. I got you. You did a... Yeah.
I know. So, this was... My first book ended that I was happily married and my husband was adorable, you know, and I was very happy and all that stuff, which was just a pile of... Ooh la la! Actually, didn't work
I will
out.
not have cussing on this show, Debbie Reynolds.
Sorry.
That's all
Something
right.
just got loose. It just went...
And that's why I love you. When you talk about Las Vegas as your hometown, you kind of like think of it as your hometown.
I love it. Well, I've lived there. I've had a home there for like 60 years, something like that.
Wow.
Well, I love Vegas. I just think it's...
Did you know Liberace then? Did you actually know Liberace?
I knew Liberace. I loved him. He was so, you know, Liberace. First of all, the way he talked, and just, I love, there's a certain way he just had to...
I like that too. I think if I was, if I try and do it, I sound like Gilbert Gottfried as a cat.
Yes, you do.
No, it's like, it's like I'm a cat.
But you look like him.
Boy, do I? Yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah.
Oh gosh, you know that was when she had that terrible bruise on her face from when she fell down.
Yep.
In the bathroom and hit her cheek on the.
Yeah.
So you notice there was no close-ups.
Well, they cut away from the book too. They were about to go into a close-up on the book, and they cut away.
Well, I cut a few of this together.
Did they show the close-up?
Yeah, they showed the
Okay, because I see it seems like a strange cut. But anyway, obviously there was some fun stuff on there, and I mean, there's an endless amount of talk show things that we could dig out of our archives. Another show that would be interesting along these same lines would be to do the variety shows. You know, she did the Bob Hope specials and her own specials.
Yeah, that would be a fun night of
well,
stuff.
that's the Bobby Darin thing, too.
Yeah.
I don't know if we could ever clear that because that's an awesome stuff. And my dad's shows were variety shows as well, television. He was sort of one of the early variety musical variety shows that was on network TV. He was one of the early versions of that in the 50s, early 50s. And then she went on, of course, Bob Hope and Crosby and everybody, Dean. Dean and her are freaking hilarious together.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some stuff. So I just think we could have some fun another
Everybody's
night.
just saying how great of a talk show guest your mom is, how her ad-libbing is unparred.
She was very quick-witted,
Very good at that game.
Yeah.
And she would, if you notice how she keeps it moving, you know, it's like there's no extra air. Like no one's sitting around going,
But back
What are you
then,
gonna say next?
they also let guests have time. I mean, talk shows now are so bad because for so many reasons. But for me, their guests have about 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and that's it. And
Well, I
it's
think
like you
that's
don't get to
fine,
know them
but
at all.
That's for a certain audience, right? So they've done this study. You know they have their numbers down. So they did a study. They figured out that the attention span of the average viewer is X amount of minutes. Now, what they're failing to realize is that, you know, that's a bad habit. It's like an ADD show, you know. So you need to let guests breathe and tell their stories and have time to develop the character. But it isn't for everybody. So I think it's fine to have the 2-minute guest, but then you want to have the half an hour guest too.
Yeah.
Larry King refused to give up that format. He gave me an hour.
I think Larry King's show was fantastic because you really got to get inside the head of his guests, and so it was great. But
And well prepared.
So this was a fun show. I love this. I really loved this topic. This was great. But you know what time
And
it
Debbie's
is?
watching.
She's always watching. We are going to give stuff away. And then we're going to go hasta la bye-bye because it's time for the mama, that's now me, to feed this family. And everybody's been with us now for it's a long time.
My
and
mother
we
wants
thank
to know
you.
if you're sure.
Well, no, she will always be the mama, but it's so weird to think I'm now the matriarch.
That's right.
It's so weird. You know, it's like, what?
I'm the oldest,
I miss her
I'm
so
the oldest
terribly.
member of our active family.
Yeah.
The only older person is non-active would be Aunt Jeannie, Uncle Bill's second wife.
Yeah.
She's still running around. But technically speaking, they were divorced, etc.
Yes, etc.
That disqualifies you.
So
from
we have the
some
wheel.
level.
Tonight we have 2 wheels. Next week we'll have 3 wheels.
A lot of names. Oh,
yeah.
names are already coming up.
Yep, here we go. So Kyle,
Moving right along.
I'm so happy because Ryan and Kyle are coming. They're going to be here soon for Easter. I don't know which one is.
Well, just
Oh, this was
pick a winner.
mine.
There's
This
your
is
winner.
mine. All right. Angela Pritchett, you are the wiener, and you have won Rich, the lip gloss that has, I don't even know how many of these we've sold. I have no idea because I've had this gloss for 24 years. Not this particular one, but Rich is 24 years. It's been, and I have it on tonight. I'll put it on for you, Angela. I don't think we can do close-ups on these cameras, but.
No, we can do it. He's got why don't you zoom in with the big camera?
And you'll see this.
No, it's already there. Give it to me.
Okay.
Oh, on her lips?
On my
Yeah,
lips.
Zoom in on her mouth.
Well, don't zoom in
All right,
too
don't
close.
do that. All right, never mind.
But
All right.
this is what it looks like, Angela. You may have even tried this. I don't know, but it's been our best-selling gloss for 24 years. It's awesome. So you have won that. Congratulations. Please, Angela, write us at catandtoddlive@gmail.com and let
Everybody
him
is
know.
so happy that she won. Even my mother is giving you a happy. She's thrilled that you won, and there she
There
is
you
telling
go.
you how happy she
Winner
is.
number 2 is Diane Vasquez. Diane Vasquez, you have won the that is Cat Cosmetics, my company that for the Rich lip gloss, and so is this. I love this. It's one of my favorite products. It is the Miracle Working Clarifying Hyaluronic Serum, and it's kind of a milky texture. You put this on your face after you clean it. Serums are to lock in moisture. It is, if you want to go to the close-up cam over there, you'll see it. This makes your skin feel so soft, and you will wear your moisturizers over that.
You can also use it to soften leather. You put it on the...
Well, faces sometimes are like leather.
That's true.
Fine Corinthian leather, that's my face. And so I congratulate you, Diane Vasquez. So just send me your address, and we will get that out to you. By the way, everyone that got prizes last week, your prizes are on their way to you right now. The third winner is going to be, let's just do this. Is this and Sal Harcourt. Sal Harcourt, you are the winner, and how perfect, because you have won also by my company, Cat Cosmetics. This is the Miracle Working Muscle Gel. There is nothing like it. I guarantee it. This is the travel size. It's incredible. I got to use it finally for the first time on. It's going through medical clinical trials right now because it is that good. So Todd his feet were killing him the other night because he had been on them for 12 or 14 hours, and he was laying in bed in misery after his shower.
This is the small size, though.
That is the travel size because the other one is over 5 ounces, so you can't travel with it. But this is absolutely amazing. And I put it on your feet, and you don't even like people touching your feet. Ryan's the same way. But I rubbed that into your feet, and you fell asleep like that. There is something about this that does that. Sometimes when my legs feel like restless, I put it on my legs and I can sleep like a baby. I put it on my feet when they ache. So Sal, congratulations. But since you're a first-time winner, please write us at catandtoddlive@gmail.com and let Ryan know your address so I can get that to you.
What's Debbie thinking?
I don't know, but what a great picture.
I did not. This is where she's thinking, brush your teeth and go to bed. It's 11:30. You're supposed to be in bed an hour and a half ago. And
She's thinking, why did I buy my kid this camera?
Yeah, there's always that. There's always
He's
that.
in my face all the time. Winner number 4, Latest Styles. You have won the Debbie Reynolds CD. So this has so many great songs on it, and I am so happy that you won it, and it's so nice to have you here. We haven't seen you and Catherine in a long time. The Best of Debbie Reynolds, Tammy. Oh, God, there's so many great songs on here. Love is a Simple Thing. I love that. Abba Dabba Honeymoon, a lot of hits of Debbie's are on this. So we will send this to you, Latest. Thank you so much for being such a loyal viewer to the show. We so appreciate you and Catherine both. And number 5, you are going to hear the number 5 winner is, here we go, Madeline Scarmorza. Madeline Scarmorza. Madeline's the one that asked the question about Nollywood. I couldn't find it, but I remember that name. So thank you so
What's
much
Debbie
for your
thinking
question.
in this photo? The same thing she was thinking in the last. Todd, why are you still awake? Or whatever.
That's right. And you took that picture, right?
Of course. These are all mine.
Yeah, I love that. Madeline, you have
These
won.
are the sides of Debbie that you
this
don't
is
get to
a
see.
classic. This is the Do It Debbie's Way, and it is it's sealed. That's what I want to say. It's sealed, so it's a collectible. So
She
Do
was
It
just
Debbie's
talking
Way.
about that on that talk show.
talk show, yeah.
With
You know what? I'm of that age now where I would probably love to. Do we have Do It Debbie's Way? Can we?
We do.
Okay, because I know, I love it. But anyway, congratulations. You have this is a collectible, and now it is yours, Madeline. Thank you so much for watching. And it's on it. Yeah. So you don't have to open this because you may want to, Yeah, you can watch Do It Debbie Way on YouTube, which is what I'll do to exercise. Chris Clark, you are the next winner.
This is a pretty cool lot. This is kind of to promote our claim sale tomorrow because we have some postcards, vintage postcards.
You don't have your. Oh, okay. So we are having a claim sale tomorrow on the Debbie Reynolds Studio Store page, not the website, but the Facebook page. And so I don't know what this is. Let me just take a peek at it. But this is for Chris Clark. What you have won are some stills of young Debbie.
Studio prints, original
Studio prints. They are. Look, they're on the back. The prettiest girl in town is petite Debbie Reynolds when she smiles Frank Sinatra, when she smites Frank Sinatra with the love bug in MGM's Young at Heart comedy, The Tender Trap. And then Todd's going to take that over. You have to read the back if you're going to finish it.
Well, I'm going to show the picture.
Okay.
There's the picture.
I love studio stills. They're numbered.
And then there's this is what they did in the day.
Yes.
The PR department would put the writing on the back, but that's
And this is from Athena, and it's again a studio still because there's writing on the back. And then you've got.
Well, I thought one of the big things tomorrow was these postcard collections. We've got these.
Yeah.
Let me see.
We have lots of.
Oh, well, let me have the one, though, with James Dean.
Okay.
Don't you have a set of James Dean?
I do, but I just want to take this sticker off of it. There we go.
She's taking the sticker off.
That's right.
We can wait. It's okay. No
there
problem.
you go. I'm just going to take the sticker off before you put it on camera. I couldn't get it off all the way.
It doesn't matter. The sticker's on there. They're old. So these are James Dean postcards. Some of them are old. Some of them are
They're
newer
very
or
old.
reprints. Well,
Stars of the Silver Screen. Here's this. Oh, look at this James Dean.
There's a whole bunch of cool postcards in the set. Look how crooked that is. Hello.
I love this picture of James Dean. And look at, these are postcards. And then we have another one of James, and these are all for Chris Clark.
He's
How
like
about
a
that?
baby. Look at that.
I know.
These are all of James Dean, and then there are some Debbie.
And then there's 2 Debbie postcards, but there's
Well,
one more of
explain
James.
what
So
you're
this
gonna-
is a bundle that you're getting.
Explain what you're doing.
Okay. All right, go ahead, because Chris Clark, you are.
We're not
Make
gonna
sure
show
you
them all.
please
Yeah, no, but
write us
this is-
at catandtoddlive@gmail.com and give us your address so we can get these out to you on Monday. Okay? Thank you.
This
And
is
now,
just-
Seth, what did you want to say?
No, I just want to say this is to promote our claim sale for tomorrow, happening on the Debbie Reynolds Hollywood Studio Store Facebook page. So the Debbie Reynolds Hollywood
Sit.
Studio Store. I'm being told to sit by
brush your teeth,
brush my
clean your
teeth
room,
and
and sit.
And I'll let Joan tell it to you. You know, Mommy Dearest. Tomorrow, Debbie Reynolds Hollywood Studio Store Facebook. If you go to that group, we're having a claim sale. We have a lot of fun things. Hollywood memorabilia, and we'll have some vintage postcards.
All right, and the next winner is
The
we are
Super
going
Wheel.
to. So
This is this. Are we going to the Super Wheel?
no, I think we're. Are we on the Super
Yeah,
Wheel
we're
now?
on the. Well, we should be.
Oh, okay. We're on the Super
I don't
Wheel.
know.
So this is the all the donors people that donated to the show last week in the chat, because this is the second wheel. It has far less names on it, and you are on the wheel. If you donated tonight in the chat, then you will be on next week's Super Wheel. And
Oh, this is a big item.
oh my gosh, this is a great prize. Wow. This is a great, I collect these, so different. Oh my God, this is an amazing prize, really. It is, and go ahead and spin her up. Here we go. It is a check signed by Debbie, made out to the Minskoff Theater
In New York.
in New York City, which is where Irene was,
That's
right?
right.
And
I was there at that time.
and I collect checks of the famous because I love it. Terry Dixon, you have won the Debbie Reynolds. It's a check that it was cashed, and I love it. I have Clark Gable check because I just think they're cool.
You notice it says for food down there. So this is like cash for food, the chemical bank.
Or as your mom would call them, snackies.
And like on the back, it's not signed. So you see this was written to the theater and they would have just taken it to her and given cash.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but that's kind of cool. It's got some history to it.
Congratulations,
'Cause
Terry.
that's a good item, especially if you already have anything from Irene. Well, if you don't, now you really need to put this with the Irene program.
Right.
Or something to that effect.
Yes. So congratulations, Terry Dixon. I don't even want to hold this check because it's in mint condition, but and I believe that is the conclusion to tonight's show. I want to thank everybody for coming because, well, we get to spend another Saturday night together and visit with Debbie. And
we kept it under 2 hours.
Unbelievable. My goal is always to get this show down in time, but
we did not make that goal.
no. But we had a great time, and thank you so much for coming. And so on behalf of Ryan Clements and Kyle Hinton, myself, Todd, we have Dawn here. Is Buck back there? Oh,
He's
Buck
back there.
is back there. And of course, Seth Robichaud, we want to say thank you so much for coming to spend this time with us. And who are you talking to while I'm talking
Oh, no,
to?
so Ryan's going to start it.
Okay. All right. So if you donated tonight, please make sure you watch the crawl at the end of the show, and you will see your name right there. And we thank you so much for all of the money that comes in through these channels, help to pay for the production of the show, our legacy projects, and it just means the world to us. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. And remember, I'll be on at 2 o'clock Pacific Coast time tomorrow on my Facebook page to finish the series, and we will have fun.
Just in case you didn't have enough of us.
Well, they don't see us all week, so it's good. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Remember,
Ryan, hit it.
You are blessed.
Hey, I'm Catherine Hicklin. Some of you may know me best from One Life to Live, but I also own catcosmetics.com. Only the best cosmetics in the world. I use the Miracle Working Kit on a mother and daughter. It's easy to use, works for all skin types, and comes with a how-to DVD. So if you want to look 10 years younger in less than 5 minutes, or you just want to look more beautiful than you've ever been in your life, come on over to catcosmetics.com and make sure you sign up for special discounts, new products, and inspirations.
I hear the cottonwoods whispering above. Tammy, Tammy, Tammy's in love. The old hooty owl, hooty hoos to the dove. Tammy, Tammy, Tammy's in love. Does my lover feel what I feel when he comes near? My heart beats so joyfully. You'd think that he could hear. Wish I knew if he knew what I'm dreaming of. Tammy, Tammy, Tammy.